So today's video is going to be episode 5 of the What Happened To series, and this time we're talking about Gorr. Gorr was my second ever rank 3 7-star. I've been playing this guy for a really long time. I loved playing him as a 6-star too, and he's always been a really cool character to me. Partially because I love him in the movies and the comics and stuff, and so I was really set on chasing him. I think his animations in the game are super cool, so I was really set on chasing him. And his kit's honestly pretty cool. I thought it was very cool when it came out. I still think it's got some really cool stuff now. Has it aged well? I wouldn't say perfectly. I wouldn't say it's aged great, but obviously we'll get into that. But he's still a character that I definitely enjoy playing now. I just don't get the opportunity to do it as often. But with Gorr, the main rotation you're going to want to do is build up your shadow magic buffs with your light attacks, and then build up your shadow magic debuffs with your medium attacks, light enders and medium enders to get each of them. And then you are going to drop the special 3, which is going to either kill or follow up with a heavy attack into another special 3, which will kill, probably. So that's kind of the main Gorr rotation. There are alternate rotations that I won't necessarily be getting into. I think I'm going to do one other one in this video, which we'll see when we get to the Doom fight, I think, where I played a little bit differently, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, I'd like to say he's pretty simple, but champs who have to finish combos with their basics aren't necessarily simple. It makes them hard to play when you don't want to parry, or there's an unblockable node, or if you need to force an intercept. I think champs that have to end combos to ramp are oftentimes very inflexible sometimes, and Gorr definitely feels that way. Because a lot of nodes that, force you to work around what the defender has with unblockable or anti-parry or again intercept nodes. It just makes it really inconvenient for you if you have to finish the combos. But he still feels fun. If you're not in those scenarios, he's still gonna have a pretty smooth playstyle. And now we're gonna talk about a little utility piece he has. This is in his SIG ability. You are going to get an undermine every time you get a shadow magic buff. And that undermine lasts longer depending on how high your SIG level is. So my Gorr is like SIG 60 or something, so it's going to be higher if your Gorr has a higher SIG, or longer if your Gorr has a higher SIG, I should say. And if you can get a relatively high SIG Gorr, this undermine's extremely reliable. It's not as good as Vox's, but Gorr also can have it at the start of the fight, so it has some advantages to Vox's because of that. But you do need to make sure that you are going to drop a special 3 to get Shadow Magic back, or a light ending combo to get Shadow Magic back to trigger the undermine, because after it falls off, it falls off. So we're taking him against this auto block node, which is countered by having unique buffs, which is another thing Gorr also has, or it might just be buffs in general instead of unique. But Gorr also has a crap ton of buffs, so he's just very good for this node even without the undermine. But, just as an example for other auto block nodes, that's kind of how you get the undermine. That's, obviously very useful. Undermine is a very useful game mechanic. And yeah, but one really annoying thing, one thing I really dislike about Gorr's kit though, is his special 3 does not ignore armor rating, which is really dumb considering how much damage it reduces if you're fighting a tech champ who has armor. Because that special 3 against Doom there did half the damage it normally would, because of Doom's armor, which is something I really dislike about Gorr's kit, because he has no way of controlling any armor, and that armor rating that they have still matters on the special 3. So it's maybe my least favorite thing about Gorr's kit is that he can't deal with the armor rating on the special 3. Which is why maybe you would want to use a different rotation, which I thought I would use there and didn't. I thought I would go for the special 2 rotation, but it's fine. So here, we're fighting this bullseye here, and I'm just going to show a cheesy thing Gorr can do. If you're wondering why he's countering Bullseye's evade, it's because of the war tag that this came with, not because of Gorr's kit. Gorr can't counter Bullseye's evade. But what he can do is regen a stupid amount every time Bullseye bleeds him because of his shadow magic. It's really, really cheesy regen every time you're going to get bled or poisoned or shocked while you have one of those respective buffs. You're going to gain a regen, and they're missing health regens, so they're more potent the lower your health is, but you know, they have a max of 20% missing health, which adds up a lot. And so anyway, you can do this fight even without this tag giving me the evade counter. Like, you can still deal with the evade and take this fight. It's just, you know, a little bit more annoying. But yeah, I mean, I would take this fight like if it happened next season, if there was a reason for me to take Gorr here, because he is almost immortal against Bullseye if you play it right, because of the really, really funny and regen interaction. So just don't get fooled and expect Bullseye's evade to fail against Gorr. That's not how this works. It's just because of the war tag. But yeah, against Bullseye in general, he just like doesn't die. And I've done like BG's fights as well that you can look up on my channel of that happening. So here, yeah, the strengths and weaknesses, or just strengths I put in this little card. He has multiple high damage rotations, which if you really want to see more of them, check out my Gorr Ultimate Showcase. I might put the link in the description if I can remember to do so. But I show multiple rotations there where you use the SP2 sometimes. He is an auto block counter, a relatively decent one at that, especially if yours is a high sig. And he has some cheesy regen stuff in, you know, a little bit of niche scenarios for sure. But, you know, cheesy regens always kind of funny. Can they help your account? Maybe. Gorr's primary use is being a high damage dealer and the undermine, and so kind of like outside of that, he's nothing insane, but I still think he could help your account in some scenarios. I'm not going to give him a total no, because I do think he has some really interesting things in his kit, but I wouldn't suggest you rank Gorr over a lot of other cosmics, or most of the other cosmics that have been released since him. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.